And then, ladies and gentlemen, welcome once again to New Comic Book Day Aftermath with me, Larry King, and as always, my guest and my co-host, as it were, Matt Land. Thank you, Matt, for joining me.
Hey, thanks a lot, man.
Well, you said before the show, you gave me some news that kind of broke my heart a bit. The fact that you gave something a chance, and
Oh
normally,
God, I
we'll,
let it
we'll
in.
save it a little bit. What would you rather do? Get the badness out of the way, or go ahead and get the
Let's
goodness? Let's
let's
do
go
good.
ahead and rip that Band-Aid off, man.
All right. You picked up Fantastic Four #1 by Dan Slott, Sarah Pichelli. Why? Why would you do this?
Because I'm a Fantastic Four fan. God, and it was for me. It was kind of tough because I'm not a big Dan Slott fan, but I guess it's just the same as what I did with Superman when I came out. Man of Steel, as I'm not a big Bendis fan, but I bought that, more for the character than who was actually working on it. So this was, I guess, we would say the same situation, and would say I got the same bit of disappointment.
Well, would you say more or worse? Like the same amount or worse than Bendis'
uh,
Superman? If you had to
I think it
choose,
was
I mean,
if I had to, man, I don't want to choose either.
well, are they both
I,
equally bad, or is
I,
one worse than the other?
I
I'll say
wouldn't
this: the,
say that it's
the cover,
bad.
the cover is god awful, and like I'm gonna go ahead and share a screen real quick. This is the cover that Esad Rabic, I believe that's how you pronounce his name. Love the guy, love his art. This artist, amazing, except for this cover. What the hell? It's that's supposed to be the thing. No,
I'll tell you right now
no,
that other than I guess a little short flashback, that's the most Fantastic Four you'll get out of this.
really. So it's one of those slow burn build up to Fantastic Four kind of deals.
Well, I feel like we've already been mourning the Fantastic Four, and that was, I guess, my biggest issue with this issue was that right there. I mean, I don't know, I don't mind, getting a little deeper into, Johnny and and Ben and seeing how they feel about the situation and all that, but I feel like we're already kind of getting that with the, I guess, the Marvel 2-in-1 series. So I don't know. I was expecting the real deal. Was what I was expecting.
We'll see.
I
Like
mean,
that
and there
first
was
arc.
parts I did like. I would say there's
Well, okay.
parts I did like.
What did you like about it then?
I like the end of it.
The nightmare is over. You're finally awake. You
Well,
like
they
the
had a little. They showed Doom, and I think they flipped the script as far as who was doing the artwork for that part. And I don't know. I liked. It felt like it was Doom. Kind of coming back to the status quo, which is running this country, being Doom, not taking shit.
see, and that right there, that's how it should be. This idea of I don't mind this like Doom the manipulator making people think, oh, he's turned good or doing something like that. That's fine because I'd be, toss it up a little bit. But yeah, like
He's smart.
yeah,
I believe things like that could happen where he would would want to do something in order to explore something. This guy's not dumb.
no. Well, that's the problem. Like they sometimes write him just like a flat villain. Haha, I shall get you, Richard.
I mean, this was a guy who was a scientist as well. I mean, so yeah, I don't feel like he's dumb.
Yeah, I like the idea of Doctor Doom being this. It not only what was that?
It's the fucking highway. I'm sorry.
I bet it sounded like a
I got.
fart just got ripped, and I'm like, oh
Oh
no.
yeah, that's what's happening. No, there's right outside my house is a fucking major fucking highway around 4 o'clock. And
Okay.
everyone doesn't know how to drive. I kind of wanted to have the window open, but I mean that noise. People are
Is
gonna
it
think
semi
I'm sitting
trucks?
here farting. I mean, I
Is
might
that
need to
semi
shut the
trucks with
window.
the Jake brakes?
Yeah,
The-
that's
okay,
exactly what's happening, man.
okay, because like with the way it sounds like farts. I know what the
I'm
Jake
letting it
brake
rip.
is.
Hello, internet.
It's wow. All right, but so do you think you'll be picking up issue 2
I probably
of
won't.
Fantastic Four?
Maybe
No.
I'll come back and check it out when it's all in one big deal. Who knows? I
Like
don't
when
know. It just
trade when they're the
didn't.
first trade or
Yeah, the first trade, maybe not even then.
okay.
I don't know, Larry. I mean, I'm a big fan. I
Did you ever read
mean,
the Hickman run? Did you read the Hickman run of
I've
Fantastic
read
Four?
bits. I've read bits and pieces of that Hickman run, but
Go
I
read
understand. I understand why you're asking me that, though. That's good
that
stuff.
right there. Instead of wasting your money on this, go read the Hickman run. What he
I
does
might
with
do
all the
that.
characters, dude. The way he like building, he actually the Fantastic Four, Marvel's first family. He emphasizes the family aspect, bringing in just everything about Fantastic Four that works. Then the Future Foundation stuff, which is I was like apprehensive at first, and then just everything is so good. It's like teaching and learning and all this and that, and you know Galactus and the way Galactus is treated in the book, and I liked it because it's like I like it a lot. I recommend it. Maybe get the first trade.
How was Galactus treated?
Treat like I guess a spoiler, but how Franklin Richards is like the most powerful mutant in existence because he manipulates reality.
He can.
He's like Legion.
Another reality.
Yeah, he's like the inverse of Legion. Instead of being like psychotic and crazy, this kid's kind of like wide-eyed and not as he
a little more in
does,
touch with his abilities instead of being, I guess, sporadic.
Exactly, and in it, he basically makes Galactus his herald, and I'm like, that makes sense. Makes a lot of sense. Galactus.
I'm sure that gives Galactus a little more insight on his job. He gets to see, gets to go down to the worker level.
Exactly. It's like with his undercover boss.
His undercover boss. It's Galactus. He's got his disguise on. I mean, you don't know it's him. He's got a pair of sunglasses on. You just don't know it's him.
Fake mustache for Galactus.
He's not going to change size.
He's not going to change size at all. He's like, I just have a glandular problem.
Yeah.
But that idea of Franklin Richards was Galactus in Earth X, so that was kind of interesting. He realized that somebody had to take the role of being Galactus, so he took the role.
Earth X, that's where I guess Peter Parker was kind of older, and his daughter was Blood Spider or something like that.
Yeah, his daughter had the symbiote, this Venom symbiote suit. He was fat. Wolverine was fat. Jean Grey was fat. Captain America was homeless.
I can't wait to get to the future. I'm going to be fat.
Everybody's gonna be fat asses. Scott Steiner versus
Scott Steiner's gonna come whip my ass in shape.
Marvel Universe, you have 66 2/3 chance of winning. You get your fat asses out of here. Go to the negative zone with your fat asses. But so Fantastic Four. No, that's a big thumbs down for that, right?
It just wasn't what I was looking for. I mean, there was parts of the book I did like. There was stuff with Ben Grimm, that I thought was kind of cool, but I don't know. I guess maybe we'll pick up. Who knows?
Hopefully it will. I just have no faith in Dan Slott anymore.
Dan Slott. Yeah.
Dan the Slott.
I wasn't a fan of his Spider-Man stuff. I'm sorry. I mean, I will admit I was intrigued with the whole Dr. Ock, occupying Peter Parker's body. I thought that's kind of an interesting idea.
Yeah, that could work if it's done well, not overdone, and not like gone on too long as a nice arc or whatever. I think they dragged out too many of those arcs for way too long, a little brief. I keep it short and sweet, leave people wanting more. That's the way I look at it. I'd rather be wanting more.
Save it for the ones need to be long.
Like Clone Saga, you need that to be really long.
That needs to be years. Yeah, we shouldn't be done with it. I should be still going on right now.
Clone Saga. Be
able to have kids and let them know, hey, this shit's been going on for a while. When I hand him that,
he's a clone of a clone of a clone.
Oh, it's just gonna keep going. Someone's gonna resurrect it. Don't worry, man.
Well,
and turn out one of these clones it's still sitting down there in the sewers, and it's gonna open up.
Well, speaking of other Marvel books, you picked up Amazing Spider-Man #3, right?
Yes.
What did you think? I had not read it. You liked it. So what happens in this? Is it like you went out trying to maybe,
we're gonna go ahead
too much?
Oh, God.
You know what?
I don't spoil the shit out of it. I'm sorry, people. Internet.
Just do it. Just do it.
So the last issue ended with seeing Peter Parker and Spider-Man both at the same time. You're just like, you're going through your mind any number of situations. The chameleon,
Yeah,
another clone. It could be anything. Well, it turned out it was actually him.
Uh-huh.
Oh yeah. So the machine that they were messing around with him and Dr. Connors. This machine, I guess, now it can split things. And what it did was essentially it split Spider-Man from Peter Parker. So now you just have Spider-Man and everything that's Spider-Man, and then you have everything that's Peter Parker, and they're separate.
I'm
same person, two sides of the coin.
That's a
Superman plot.
Oh my god! You know what?
Wasn't
actually,
Superman Red a little more edgier than Superman Blue?
Well, I'm talking about even the Golden Age. They're only Silver Age. That was a Silver Age story.
This was an issue full of throwbacks. I will say that much.
Wow.
There's a villain that shows up. I won't spoil this part. There's a villain that shows up that we haven't seen since like I guess 1990, 91, somewhere in there.
Tombstone?
No, not Tombstone. Not Tombstone.
Oh my god!
It's someone else. I'll say it was kind of. I didn't see it coming.
Obscure, very obscure.
It's an obscure villain.
Well, that sounds good. I like this book, this Amazing Spider-Man book. There's so many people like, oh, Marvel's SJW trash. There's that. There's good books. They're just too damn expensive, and that's the biggest problem. And it's like that book right there. If it was,
I'll make it an investment.
Yeah. But like you're saying, you're getting your entertainment, you're getting your money's worth. But damn, it'd be nicer to have like $2 a piece, $1.99 a piece.
And I feel like there's a lot in here too. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm the only one. I feel like there's a real fan service in the way this book's being written. And the throwbacks and stuff like that. You could tell that the people who were working on this book maybe went back and read maybe more Spider-Man than normal, just to.
I'm surprised, honestly,
get that feel.
I'm surprised that Spencer's actually delivering. Like, you're the one like, dude, Spider-Man's good, but the price is what's keep me away from it at this point.
There was even another little clue laid this week. I don't know what it means, but I think I got an idea of what it could mean, but we'll see.
Okay, well, keep us informed, as it were. So, Spider-Man, big thumbs up.
Big thumbs up.
Well, another 2 books we read. I missed out on. I got Hawkman #1 like around the same time Hawkman 2 came out, but I didn't pick up Hawkman 2. I didn't want to buy 2 books, and turns out I don't like it. That's happened before. I felt like I get burned. Like you're stuck with 2 books you don't like. But I've been loving Hawkman. Hawkman number 3 came out this week, and I had picked up 2 and 3. Same thing with you, right? You did the same thing, right?
I did the exact same thing.
Yeah. So here's that beautiful cover, very actiony cover by Brian Hitch.
The artwork very much suits the story. I will say that.
Yeah, it's an adventure story. It's like action adventure, old school throwback kind of deal. It's just fantastic. I love the look.
I guess synergy is the word. I guess.
Yeah, the way everything's firing on all cylinders. So like issue 2 then leads into issue 3. Issue 2 he battles his previous life self. Who battles Khufu, his Egyptian self over the skies of Egypt, and then this one he battles these the Knights of the Airy, the basically hawk people, bird people, and it's just good.
Pissed off bird people.
Yeah, like they're very defensive, and it's just they're on Dinosaur Island of all places.
It's a huge story. It feels like a huge story, and I like it. It feels like there's a huge world in which Hawkman's inside of right now. It's not just a small space.
Yeah, and every issue almost feels self-contained. Like
there is still that. Yes, yeah.
Where you can read an issue, because like the first issue, he pulls like a Raiders of the Lost Ark, where he's at the beginning in the temple with the exchange, like throw me the idol, throw the whip kind of thing. Instead, he's battling a giant winged gorilla deity security system. And then the second issue, of course, he's battling his former past life. He's battling a bunch of winged warriors in the skies of Dinosaur Island. And the next, they've already said it's on the cover. He's on Hawkworld. He's on Thanagar. So it's.
And we're seeing a more classic. I guess it was back in the 90s. Hawkman had the metal wings. I think. Briefly.
Yes, it was actually this right here. I'm showing the cover of Hawkman 3, and this is the cover to Hawkworld. And that's basically the same kind of design.
There you go. Yeah, there it is. Yeah.
Which actually, I actually read this as well this week. I'd had it in my Comixology queue for a bit, and it's a three issue prestige series that they did, and holy crap, is it good!
Seems like a gritty Hawk story right there.
It's more of like, it's gritty, but not in a like, yeah, it's gritty, man. It's like a lot of heart to it, and that's the biggest thing. There's a lot of heart.
Say this is a street level type story.
Kinda. It's like I'll get into it after the Hawkman #3. But my one complaint of Hawkman 3, I noticed this while I was reading it. The inker or somebody forgot to draw the mouth.
I saw you link the picture.
That was like, that's and then the colorist tried to cover.
Maybe he's like talking so fast that you can't see his face.
Maybe the Flash punched him. He didn't know it or something. But yeah, that's a little distracting.
Or maybe his helmet like turned around a certain way and his head's actually turned. Really?
I don't think so. I mean, nice cover.
I'm reaching.
Nice cover. I mean, if I was the colorist, like guess what? Colorist, you do have the color black. You could fix that, but whatever. Somebody should have fixed that, but whatever. I loved it. I'm gonna still read it. It's the best book that DC has coming out now. And everybody is like, Justice League, I think I'm done with. They're already, they had Jim Chung first issue, issues 2 through 4, or 2 through 5 was that, or 2 through 4 was that Jose Jimenez, or, whatever his name is. And then they got Tom Mandrake, I think Tom Mandrake came on the book for an issue. It's all over the place. No consistency.
I'll come back later.
But, huh? Oh, the Justice League.
To it later. Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
No, I'm not leaving. It's like, why would he announce he's leaving?
I was like, what's going on here? I'm like, I'm confused.
This is new.
Confusing me. But yeah, it's other than this little art goof, it's just a fantastic book. I'm loving it. It's delivering everything I'd want in a book: action, adventure, machismo. It's just fun. I love the fact that he's just like, he's almost bumming off of people, going like, "Oh, I saved your family in the past. You owe me. Give me a room to stay. Let me crash on your couch. I saved your ancestor." I love it. It's great.
I think that's that Indiana Jones aspect.
Yeah, Indiana Jones, like Sala. Indiana Jones has the attention of the Nazis, and he gets Sala sends his kids in to keep Indy as human shields to keep Indy from getting shot up by the Nazis. So, and they introduce some stuff they better deliver. I want to see Hawkman on the fields of battle, World War I, with the hawk wings and everything, and kicking ass. I
feel like they can. I feel like they will.
I hope they do. I want to see some. I want to see some Austro-Hungarian troops get
the story has got kind of a quantum leap feel to it right now.
each stage.
Where is he going to go next?
Well, now we know he's going to Thanagar, but eventually he's going to
the
Krypton.
Hard streets of Thanagar. Yeah.
We'll get to the hard streets of Thanagar. That'd be interesting. But yeah, it's good stuff, man. It's really good comics, and it feels like every little bit, my money's going a long way. But yeah, Doug Mankey. Yeah, correct. It's Doug Mankey, not Mandrake. I don't know why I thought Tom Mandrake, Doug Mankey. Yeah, close enough in my head. But yeah, it's just good stuff. So what else? So that's it, right? You only read Hawkman 2, 3, and Spider-Man 3?
Yeah, that was it. Yeah, that was it for me this week.
Well, for me, I read it. It came out, actually, the first issue's been out a while, but the 0 issue for the book it's by Josh Howard, who did Dead at 17. I don't know if you follow him on Twitter. I love his artwork. Very cartoony. It works great. He did this book called T-Bird and Throttle. The 0 issue came out this past Wednesday. It's a 16-page. It's basically, kind of a prologue to the actual first issue. First issue is like 56 pages, around 60 pages.
It's got some kind of Bruce Timmish looking art, maybe a little more.
I like it. It's very, very fun, lively, kind of cartoony, but not. It's cartooning art. It is like the art seems.
It looks pretty solid.
Yeah, I love it. I love his work. I've loved it since Dead at 17, which I picked up the complete collection. It's like 500 pages or something, 600 pages, like big old fat, like omnibus style collection. This book, I'm thinking, okay, it's gonna be kind of a standard superhero thing, And then how comic books, especially superhero stuff, gets kind of soap opera-y. Like the hero, he's like, oh, explaining his origins, and his kid's like, what about like just the kid kind of gets bored of the father explaining, oh, how he got his origins and this and that. And so the wife's distant. So the husband goes to do a superhero thing, and his wife like texts in some other dude, like, oh, I can't.
Shit.
And so it's like, oh man, this guy's like he's saving people. His kid doesn't care. He's been changed because like he had a hole blasted through his chest. Now he's like this artificial chest plate thing. He looks like a kind of got like a chest similar to.
I thought, yeah, in the picture, I thought maybe he had like a shield on his.
Well, it's there. Like it's a.
They look so happy right there, man.
Yeah, but it's like it's a false face kind of thing, and behind it, it looks like he's got like a chest similar to Metallo, kind of thing. Is like or Cyborg, if you want to look at it that way. And so his wife's cheating on him. His kid doesn't care, and his partner, superhero partner, Throttle, the ginger chick, the hot ginger, and it's like they're kind of like his wife. She knows that his wife is not being faithful, possibly, and like we can't, like, you need to work it out with your wife. You can't just come to me for like what, emotional support, this kind of thing, or romantic notions. Like, we're partners, this is that, but that's it. And he shows up on a door. She's like in a shower. He shows up covered in blood. I killed him. And it's like, all right, I'm interested in the first issue.
Holy cow, Larry.
So I'm like, all right, he sold me. That's a great way to get somebody interested. And see,
I look at this cover and I don't think any of what you just told me. I would definitely be surprised.
See, I wouldn't basically spoiled it, but I don't think the Zero issue is included in the first issue. Because sometimes they'll do that. Like there's a Zero issue, which is really at the first, 12, 16, 20 pages of a bigger story.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that's included. I think they infer enough in the first issue, but I don't know. So I wanted to pick up the Zero issue. It's like only 99 cents. 16 pages, 99 cents, full color. That's a pretty good deal, especially on like Comixology. So yeah, I love this. This was actually really good. So yeah, that was pretty fun. Have you seen this? I know it's not on topic, but
oh boy, here we go.
Yeah,
why are you gonna hate on this? I like this story, and this guy's super nice. I met this guy.
I know, but the hands, man, what? The hands are too tiny.
Maybe she's got little hands.
I don't know, man. Like, I understand. Here's the thing. When
I can't pretend to understand.
This is one of the ugliest pieces of art I have ever seen.
The lighting.
You are
Turn the lamp on. Turn your lamp on.
Oh my God! Turn the lamp off. Keep it off. Keep the lights off. I mentioned that this is John Redcorn on estrogen.
I saw it, Larry. I saw you.
Yes.
I saw it happen. I knew this was coming. You were going to come at me because I've said something. God,
the truth hurts, man. No,
that hurts right in my heart.
But the worst thing about it, it's like when you do like expressions, like it's like, okay, that's a really bad stench, and that's like, how dare you? Huh? And it's like to me, it doesn't ring right. I mean, it's definitely something's off with his, like when he was doing this. I don't know if he's being rushed or what.
I will say he says he's been sick.
Yeah.
He was talking about that on Twitter.com about having bronchitis.
But even still, I mean, you think you put less detail because the over
and he's
detail,
got a newborn baby that they're taking care of.
Babies are not conducive.
Maybe I'm not trying to make excuses here because I'm enjoying,
his cat hopped up a hairball and then the
life is fucking happening, man.
Kirby and them were busting out like 20, 30 pages a week. Don't give me this shit.
They don't make them like they used to.
Damn right they don't. But
but I will admit those hands. I look at the hands and I feel like maybe that's someone else's hands reaching up from around her.
That's Oberon's hands.
Maybe that's someone else's hands. Yeah. Oberon cameo. We didn't think we were getting.
Oh my God. I'm not gonna. I shouldn't bust on them too much. But I read Hawkworld. I'd read the first book years and years ago, but it didn't really click with me. Reading it now, not only is the art great, Timothy Truman wrote and illustrated. It did the mainline art. Then Enrique Al Santana and Sam Parsons did the color. Al Santana did the inks, I believe. So yeah, you have this team of people just doing this book, and it's
what
about
year did this come out?
90, like 1990 or so. Like this is like around the same time Hawkworld, Man of Steel, Batman Year One, and like all these other like these books, like even including even
kind of like
Golden
the
Age.
reload, relaunch type era.
Yeah, like Golden Age, the James Robinson, Paul Smith book. Like a lot of these books are supposed to be kind of these are the origins of these characters. That's Golden Age is the JSA origin. This is post Crisis. This is the Hawkman origin. This is Superman origin, Batman origin, so on and so forth. And of course, they didn't really stick to it. There was a Hawkworld series, and there's a couple other things, but this is the best take. It's honestly the best take, dude. Qatar Hall is like he's basically like aristocrat, and he's like, I want to change. I want to make things better for people. So he basically goes down. He's like a historian. He loves history of Thanagar, and basically the way this reads, that it's a look around, Lillian musicians playing Carnegian music on the Illyrian instruments, off-world wine and quartzite goblets from Altair 3, ballroom fashions from some fop from Orton 7. Even the tables are off-world design, built in an off-world factory, brought here by some alien fleet under our captains. Thanagarians built beautiful things once upon a time, Shariera. So basically it's make Thanagar great again. He's tired of the globalism.
I've got to clean this shit up.
He basically does. It's like this, there's a conspiracy going on. It's got conspiracy. It's got this, he's pissed at the fact that the opulent people of Thanagar, like he's looking around like, you people are making money off the backs of these other worlds. We were a slave world once. We rebelled, and we decided instead of like becoming self-sufficient, we'll go and slave other people. This isn't what what was the name? Cal Moran. Yeah, Cal Moran. He's like their like George Washington kind of thing. He's like their George Washington style hero, or like John Connor, be closer thing, because he used to break Skynet, like other aliens.
John Connor of Hawkworld. Okay,
pretty much. And instead of, it's like it's going to enslave other races and other peoples and stuff, and so he becomes,
because that's always not frowned upon.
Yeah. It's like he becomes a book hero. It's a great book and beautiful artwork. But it's
I'm very curious. I might have to check this out myself.
You might be able to find it, the actual individual prestige books, pretty cheap. I've seen them in dollar bins before, kind of beat up because of the cardstock covers and everything.
I don't care if they're beat up, man.
But as long as they're readable, that's all I care about.
That's all that matters. Yeah, exactly.
But the other book I read, and this is some of the interior art, and it kind of plays into something else that happened. This is art from The Shadow versus Grendel by Matt Wagner and Brennan Wagner that came out a while back. And it's Grendel he's a criminal mastermind, kind of like very charismatic, but still like this evil. He's like force of evil, goes back in time.
It's not Deadpool, is it? No, I'm just kidding.
No. No, like a lot more character than Deadpool, but it goes back in time, battles the Shadow, and it's pretty cool stuff. And beautiful Matt Wagner.
What did the Shadow do wrong?
The Shadow did nothing wrong. Shadow is...
I thought he was traditionally a good guy. Well, I mean, a good guy that kills bad guys.
Grendel's a bad guy. See, here's the thing. Grendel comes back and starts killing... He starts killing mob bosses, like trying to take over the mob, because Grendel's from the future. Hunter Rose Grendel is from the future, like modern day. He goes back knowing all... He knows like that Prohibition's about to end, so he's getting into drugs and buying up steel.
Setting up the Empire.
Exactly, buying up steel mills because of World War II.
So who's going to put a stop to this guy?
The Shadow. The Shadow has to, but Grendel, being smart as he is, and also a criminal mastermind in his own right, he goes and he finds out Shadow's secret identity, his lair, and all this and that. And the Shadow's like, he ain't messing around. It's a good book, great action, beautiful artwork, and kind of a gut-wrenching story. And I was like, this is great. And the art team is supposed to be doing Batman number 54.
This is the father-son.
Yes, Matt and Brennan Wagner, which I love this color work here. It's like really rich, but it's not like, it isn't that modern bullshit coloring where it's all like, highlights everywhere. It's just, it's straightforward.
I need more reflective surfaces, yes.
Yeah, and it plays into this. Apparently, Matt Wagner's perturbed after his son coloring is rejected from Batman 54. So yeah, they were hired and everything was good because he had done color work before. Apparently, he's been coloring Tim Sale's variant covers for Batman.
I've heard of that guy. Yeah,
yeah, Tim Sale. He's just done like 1 or 2 books. Yeah, it's nothing big deal. It ain't like he did Long Halloween.
Yeah, no one's read that.
No one's read that. But it's like, hey, gang, sad to say I had some distasteful news to share. As previously announced here, recently signed on to provide art for upcoming issue of monthly Batman title DC Comics number 54 for the script Eisner Award-winning Tom King. CIA plant Tom King. He's a false flag.
Here we go. I knew it was coming.
When it comes out that he is one of those, you're going to be looking like Larry was right. Larry was right.
I'm going to be doing a show saying, I don't know where Larry went. What do you want, man?
They're going to black bag me, like put me in they're going to rendition. They're going to put me on some black
Sorry,
site.
I haven't heard from Larry. We have no idea where he is.
Then you can start your own channel and just like rip me off.
I got to keep it going.
You got to keep the fires burning.
Keep the fires burning.
The fire's burning for Larry as he's being tortured and
wherever you're at. I don't know where you're at.
How dare you talk about Tom King that way? He was one of us. Never trust a guy from an organization that hired Nazis, literal Nazis. Like, hey, we won against Germany. Hey, we need Gestapo and Nazis and all that to work as our CIA, the OSS and all that. That's what happened, man.
I'm liking Tom King, man. I'm liking Tom King. I don't think he's a plant.
I think he's a plant. I think he's a plant, man.
He's got me.
He's got you, man. He's got you hooked. Wake up, man.
I can't wake up.
Brendan
Wagner. My eyes.
Brendan Wagner was, of course, enlisted to color as well. I finished the work on the issue several weeks ago, and Brendan was nearing completion of his end of things, producing his typical beautiful, thoughtful, and evocative color renderings over top my black and white art. I agree. His work is amazing. It works great for Matt Wagner's work. Should have kept it that way. Modern coloring would look like shit. But just yesterday, I received word from Batman Group editor Jamie S. Rich, the DC powers that be, quote unquote, found Brennan's coloring to be too different from the regular fare because, different is bad, and so have decided to pull him from the book and have the entire issue recolored by one of their in-house colorists. At this point, now they could change their mind. That's what I guess he's alluding to. It. I don't even know who that will be. Even though Jamie went to bat first, claiming that both he and Tom King loved the way things looked, he was overruled by the higher ups. Tom Script's heartfelt look at a father and son relationship between Bruce and Dick, and that's the whole. It's like that kind of deal. And rather than capitalize on the fact that they had celebrated father and son art team on board for their issue, DC instead elected to fire the artist colorist. Son,
that's just bad timing. It's got to be
it's
bad
PR. Bad PR, bad timing. I screw up on the Ultimate Order. Celebrate Fathers in our team board for this issue. DC instead elected for Son for producing distinctive artwork. Yeah, because it stands out. Because that's the whole thing. They want things to look the same, which stinks. Instead, needless to say, I thought Brennan was doing a fantastic job. Think this is terribly shoddy way to treat not only him. This would have been his first full-length job for them, but also me, one of the long-time and supposedly respected creators. Regrettably, I'm now sorry I even agreed to this gig in the first place because this is just fucking bullshit.
Holy shit!
Yes,
there's the first Sabo round.
Well, that's the thing. Matt Wagner, the Trinity book. I don't know if you've ever read that. He wrote and illustrated that. That's the one with Batman, Wonder Woman, and Superman. That is a fantastic comic. It's Ra's al Ghul and Bizarro and everything. And there's some of that I had to influence Dawn of Justice because there's a point where Wonder Woman cuts off Bizarro's hand, and in its place, like a bit of it kind of goes all like spiky because there's it gets all crystallized and weird. It's bizarre looking, and it's like kind of what happened to Doomsday when Wonder Woman cut off Doomsday's hand and went all spiky, except he doesn't stab Superman with it. So yeah, it was interesting. It was an interesting thing to happen. But I love that book. I mean, Matt Wagner, if he's writing a Shadow, if he's writing Batman, I'm in. It doesn't matter what, I'm in. I've never been disappointed by his work So I'm in. For them to piss on him because it's like, hey, well, we hired you and your son. Yeah, his artwork ain't working for us. I'm like, what do you mean? Like, are you telling
So,
me?
I mean,
Like,
they already did the whole issue, right?
yeah, his artwork's
That's
basically done. Like, they will from way that is read. Let's see, it producing and yeah, it's like yeah, they decided his coloring was too different. So
who are these powers that be?
that's the
It's
thing. Like
only
nobody
two
wants to
guys,
mention
right?
those.
Is that who it is?
Well, here's the thing: there's no real person in charge of DC right now. Since Jeff
Who
Johns left, there's no president of DC.
is it? Bendis?
No, Bendis is business. Bendis has got like
Some
what
kind of
6
unilateral move. He's like
creative.
he was looking down the hallway and he's like, I don't like it.
I don't want Matt Wagner around here. I don't want somebody who knows what they're doing.
I want someone around here who knows what they're doing. Hey,
So
maybe it
yeah,
was Dan. Maybe it was Dan. I don't know. I don't know who it could have been. I mean, I want to know who it could have been because, I mean, obviously a whole issue was done and then they went ahead and ace-deuced it. You figure this is the feel-good story. I mean, you got an issue that's kind of focusing on that topic and then you actually have it with the people who are working on it. I mean, that doesn't happen very often, right?
yeah, you have exactly. You have how many father-son art teams? I mean, I don't know if John Romita Sr. is still alive. I mean, but like he would ink John Romita Jr.'s work from time to time, and you'd have very few people like father-son teams working in comics. I know Joe Kubert and Andy, or was it Adam? I think it was Joe Kubert and Adam did some work on Ultimate X-Men. Remember the Weapon X story arc?
Oh, yes.
You know, Wolverine was an adamantium cage and this and that, and that's when he called up Nick Fury's eye and what have you. But yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if it was a Dan Didio kind of thing. It would, but Jim Lee has never been one of these guys. Oh, he takes charge and he has a vision. He's the guy that retreated to like some villa in Italy because he could get away from things.
I would do the same thing.
not me, man. Honestly, no, because I love comics too. I'm like, hell yeah, I could basically be running things, like having this vision out there. I'm like, screw, I'm in Italy. Yes, place that doesn't know the language. I don't know the language to, whose food isn't as good as the Americanized version of it. And
how
do they
dare
have a lot
you?
Of,
how
and
dare
they don't have
you?
a lot of
How
trash.
do you know?
Because I just know I'm American. I know everything. And the
I know
other
it's
thing,
bad because it's not here.
yes,
shit
and
together, Matt.
they need to, and they have these strikes all the time for sanitation and public transport. Oh, you're on a train. Oh, sorry, there's a strike. Oh, sanitation strikes. The garbage is like 15 feet high. So yeah, screw all that. But yeah, I have a bad feeling it's gonna get a lot worse.
You think things are getting worse?
Okay, we got Kelly Sue DeConnick coming over. We have, because she's writing Aquaman now. She will be writing Aquaman. We got that G. Will Wilson. We already talked about her in the past, writing Wonder Woman. We got Bendis on both Superman books. You got Tom the Hack, CIA Plant King.
Damn it! Here we go.
You know, and it's not gonna, dude. It can't. I don't. Okay. Venditti.
So, what happens when these books stop selling? Do you think that there will be a change of course, or you think they're going to keep pushing it?
They'll keep pushing it. It's like, darkest before the dawn. I'll get
because
better.
I mean, I think there's a chance some of those books might not sell as well as I guess they would want them to. But I mean, Tom King is he's knocking it out of the park right now.
I disagree, but whatever. That's my personal. That's my personal opinion.
I'm just going off the numbers. That's all I'm doing. I'm not saying Tom King's for everybody.
Well, the numbers. The numbers don't lie.
The numbers don't lie, man. The numbers don't lie.
It's possessed for you. And the July Comic-Con numbers. Wait,
the numbers don't have an agenda. No.
Well, the numbers might. I'm curious to see if that's going to hurt. If the sales are going to be hurting, they probably won't change. Who knows? But this idea of having Tom King be this, like, I'll be on the book for 100 issues, and that the Hug Box comic he's got coming out, whatever it's called, Sanctuary, whatever it's called. H is for hope. I
was reading about Sanctuary, and I didn't realize that they had already disclosed the big twist for that, which is some kind of massacre of some nature. I feel a little disappointed. You know, in my mind I had an idea of what it was, but now I realize that this is going to be something else entirely.
Yeah, Massacre. Oh, that sounds great. Who cares
Who are
about
they going to
this?
kill?
And
They
that's the
better
thing.
not kill Wally. They better.
You know what,
God.
dude? We're gonna get another. We are going to get
Leave Wally
another identity
alone.
crisis. This is going to be another identity crisis because they couldn't get enough
You want
blood
more of
back.
that?
Dude, it's like almost 10 years. Well, around 10 years
Maybe
since
we
Identity
bring Dr.
Crisis.
Light back. He's pissed
Oh,
off
God.
again.
Yeah, he's going to start raping people retroactive.
Whoa.
Jesus
Shit.
almighty. But that's hey, that's Dan
Holy
Didio
cow.
for you. That's Dan Didio and the rest of these sick bastards' idea for you. It's like, hey, how do we make a real bad guy? Oh, yeah, let's have him just rape people. Like, what?
God.
You know, it's so... This is the problem with these comics today. You have a lot of people that want to elevate it. We got to be serious.
So you think they're going to kill a bunch of, what, fourth stringers from the 90s that we've forgotten about?
Wouldn't surprise me one bit. They'll either kill or severely wound or maim because that's how twisted and messed up they are.
Who's going to get maimed? God.
Probably Natasha Irons. They'll probably go with Natasha Irons.
No.
Like she'll lose a leg or arm or something, or, you know, and then, you know what? They'll probably do something like that because they just don't care. You know, it's so badly done. It's like everybody's like, Tom King is so brave. Like
I don't think he's brave. I don't say that. I mean, I respect what he did as far as service to our country, but I mean,
he could be brave behind a drone console where he killing somebody's like killing somebody in Call of Duty, Modern Warfare.
His stories might not be for everybody. There's a touch more, I feel, intellectual stuff, I guess.
Oh, don't give me that. This intellectual bullshit. It's like you didn't get Grant Morrison.
Here come the intellectual gymnastics from Matt Land.
Exactly, dude. You are bending over backwards for these people.
No, I'm not trying to.
I think what happened is with Grant Morrison's coming on Justice League.
I'm not a big Grant Morrison fan.
I used to be, and I stopped. But when he did Batman, like, oh, Bat Ninjas, the Man Bat Ninjas, and the whole Damien thing, it was even Professor Pig. There's no point to Professor Pig. That's a boring character, in my opinion. It's a boring addition to the Batman mythos.
And it's going to be there forever.
Yeah, it's going to be there forever because that's a Grant Morrison. Oh, you want to call back to Grant Morrison? Oh, Professor Pig. It's like Penguin. You have multiple facets of Penguin. He could be the disgusting creature in the underground. He could be the
mayor of Gotham City. He could be.
Oh God. He could be the guy running the Iceberg Lounge. Whatever.
The in between guy who's not good or bad. And I don't mind that Penguin. That guy. Where he's running the club.
He'll play both sides.
Yeah.
Yep. Well, apparently
in my mind, Penguin is a businessman.
Well, apparently they killed him off in Red Hood and Outlaws 25. Oops,
what do you mean? What do you mean?
Jason Todd allegedly killed him off, supposedly killed him off in Red Hood, Outlaws.
So 25. This is why he changes over to the Arsenal hoodie costume.
You mean Ermac? Is Ermac? Ermac wins.
So we don't know why he kills Oswald. He just does.
Yeah. I'll leave it this way. Characters dying in comics.
Will it stick?
No.
Can the Penguin find a way to come back? Maybe he's got his own Lazarus pit.
He faked his death, or so. Who cares at this point?
Him and Jason are working together. It's going to be his inside man. He's coming back as the Penguin Man.
Death in comics is a joke anyway. But
Purple Helmet. That's what they'll call him.
Purple Helmet.
Helmet.
He'll come back as a man penguin.
The Purple Hood.
The Purple Hood. Purple Rain. But yeah, I'm just I have zero interest in that Sanctuary book or whatever it's called, and DC's just
Larry. I'm going to get it. I'll do it for the both of us, and I'll let you know.
Don't pull that. I'm gonna
when I come back. Bullshit. If I do,
don't give me this bullshit. Like this is the thing. Like, well, it's that nostalgia bullshit.
I'm not hate buying.
So I gotta have to like that. Fuck that. You fucking idiot. Don't be an idiot, dude.
I'm going to run out there and take the bullet on this one. Don't
You
worry.
take that bullet and you line it, like I'll
Whatever
press
kind of emotional damage, I'll take it on me. So that
instead of pressing F,
you'll be
I'll press
okay.
S. I'll press
Don't
S for spit.
you son of a bitch. No. You respect my sacrifice.
My sacrifice. What are you, Creed now?
Yep. Yep, that's me, dude. Creed
Do
man.
you kind of look like Scott Stapp a little bit?
I'm Creed man. There you go.
Oh God.
Who knows?
But,
What if it turns out to be good? We just don't know. I mean, I'm not saying it's going to be good because I don't know. I'm not happy with, I guess, the overall setup so far, but I don't know. We'll see who they wipe out and who they make the bad guy.
as Vince McMahon's entrance used to be, no chance. You got no chance in hell of it being good. Oh God Almighty!
I'm the lone candle in the wind, waiting.
Elton John. Now, what's going on here? Your Elton John references, Creed references.
I'm more in tune with the peacefulness this week. No.
Oh my God, hippie eating granola.
I've been sitting outside.
Commune.
I've been sitting
in
outside.
the commune.
I've been sitting outside in the sunlight, soaking that in.
Too much weed smoke blowing your way.
Yep, it's all over the place.
Yes. But we, other than the Brendan Wagner thing, there was the, I guess you could say, not really outrage. It ain't really outrage, but more, it's just something I had mentioned to you previously. We had talked about how there are people that expect certain things of creators, like you should only talk about your comic. You should only do this. You should only do that. And that is the biggest problem. Telling people what to do. It's like if I go on your timeline, Matt, like, dude, don't post about your cat. I don't want to see your cat. Post about this instead.
How dare you?
Exactly.
What did Rodrigo do to you, man? He's just being a fucking cat. He's sleeping right now, and you're talking shit about him.
God. Cats, do you talk shit about? No, man.
He's just minding his own business.
I'm a dog person.
I got dogs too.
There
is a fragile alliance here in this household.
Well, I do not tell people how to live. I do not tell people how to operate. They'll operate and do whatever the way they want to do. And if I don't like it, guess what? I don't buy their work, or I don't pay attention to them. This idea of, this comic creator saying something horrific, don't follow them, mute them, block them. You don't have to follow these people. Oh, he said something. He said one thing this time, and now he says he's being hypocritic. Wow. Big surprise. He's a human being, or she's a human being.
People are going to be their own person. At the end of the day,
Exactly.
That's always going to be the case. You can't sit here and superimpose how you think people should be. I mean, this is not how it works. You didn't make that person.
Yeah, because and the idea of like, well, I paid $2.99 for your comic. Now I got to tell you what to do. I'm like, that right there, that's always bothered me.
You don't own them. You don't own them. That's
exactly. The customer is always right. That's that mindset. But if anybody's worked in a day in their life in a service industry of any kind, or where you have interaction, face-to-face interaction, you understand that's bullshit. That's a feel-good move for people. You tell them, oh, customer's always right. So they feel like, well, I'm always, they come in maybe cocky.
Maybe it's more like the customer is right sometimes.
Yeah, that's
so
the more
is the
accurate
creator.
thing. Exactly, because
there's a balance that has to be kept.
It's entertainment industry. Comics are an entertainment industry first and foremost. I don't go up to a person at a convention like, hey, your book sucked.
That's immediately what I did when I went. Yeah, I told that Gerard guy, I was like, no,
dude,
that's not what I told him. I could barely talk to him. That's what I told you.
I got a crystal ball, and I saw that you're going to draw this ugly, mannish Big Barda in the future. I'm telling you now, beforehand, you stink.
I'm going to find you at a Comic-Con, Larry. I'm going to do that to you. I'm going to dress up in a disguise, dude. And I'm going to be like, you stink.
after having been almost recruited, being tempted to be recruited by a cult at a convention, at a little zine fest, and having people knock my shit over and not apologize, and people try to pick my stuff up and walk off with it, and me keeping my cool and not snapping on them, I think you could tell me, Larry, you stink. Yeah, your book's called Neon Trash, and it's trash. Good title. Hey, thank you. Have a great day. And in my head, just seeing them getting hit in the head with a claw hammer.
I'm melting your face.
Claw hammer. Like, and then like playing Donovan's Atlantis. Way down across the ocean. Goodfellas. Just like
I knocked over someone's shit at the con I went to on accident. I felt terrible. I felt so bad. And it was only because there were so many people around me, and I was kind of like, I was turning around and I elbowed kind of a stack of books. It wasn't a whole bunch of things that fell down, but it was still like 2 books that fell down, and I felt so bad because this guy's probably thinking, man, he doesn't give a fuck about this shit, and he's knocking it over. And it's like, that's not even the case. It's like, this place is fucking packed, man.
Yeah, that's the problem. A lot of conventions, like especially very congested corridors, like if they don't space them out properly, you're going to have that issue. But you know, I rolled with the punches. I was having a miserable time most of the time at that convention until like maybe the last 2 or 3 hours, because like at that point I kind of got to the who gives a fuck matter. I was actually making some money. I was like, all right, I'm about.
You just said, fuck
bucks.
it. You can just shit on me as long as there's money in the can.
Well, not shit on me. Here's the thing. I have limits. I'm like, I'll take some bullshit. I'll suffer some bullshit, but eventually I'm like, all right, fucker. You know, I don't give a. Eventually, I'll get to the point of 0 fucks are given. I'm all out of fucks to give. They've used up the fuck quota, and they get it. Because there's a guy came up and his kid was in his arms, and the kid was like kicking and was kicking my shit, and like and bent up some of the little comics I had. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And the guy's like, "Who's this? Is that guy? Is this a pro pedo book?" And I'm like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" It's
what
like,
the fuck?
She's saying "daddy," like she looks like a kid. It's like, that's his daughter. Oh, I'm like. And he's holding a little girl in his arms. I'm thinking, that's the first thought in his mind. What the fuck?
Holy cow.
So this dude looked kind of created kind of creepy eyes. He looked like maybe he's I don't like he won't Caucasian, but I couldn't tell exactly what he was. I don't know what the fuck he was.
Did he end up buying the book?
No. But he was one of the guys that was like picking through my shit, and I'm like, all right. He was putting down stuff where I had to pile here, pile there, like had everything like in their stacks, and he's putting it down all randomly. I'm like, you can put it back where you found it, dude. It's like when
I
people
figured that's common sense. I mean, you're looking at something that someone's put out on display. They've put it there for a reason. So look at it and in that spot and try to keep it that way. You know, that's just like
it's common
decency.
And it's common decency too. And that right there, that's the biggest problem. A lot of people I found, especially conventions, like the way. It's just they interact with people online, or they might not interact with them at all. Like, just they have like zero chill, as they say. But
everyone's a barbarian now.
Yeah, online barbarian. There you go. And this idea of, oh, this person owes me, like that Patrick Zurcher thing, where it's like, oh, this is too sexy. Oh, he drew this woman sexy over here. I'm like, wow, big surprise. People say one thing, they do another. Politicians, people. Comics people, your mother, your father, your brother, your sister, your friends. People say one thing, they do another. People flake out on you. People lie. People fail you. Big surprise, you dummy. And
things are not going to always be perfect.
No. And if somebody, like, I look at it this way. I pay money, I get a product. I pay money, don't get a product, you owe me that product, or you owe me my money back. That's what, like, as far as that stuff goes. No one owes me anything. As far as like, if I'm a customer, if I pay for something, I expect to get that or a refund or that, and then I'll probably never buy from that person again. But this idea of, well, I bought from you, you have to listen to me. You have to, I'm like, I don't have to listen to you. It's like this idea of, oh, you gotta keep it, like, you gotta lick your customer base's ass. No, you don't. Like this. There's people that are very polite online. If there's people, and this is, there's people might be in this chat, I don't know, that are Comicsgate friendly or Comicsgate supporters. I had people from Comicsgate pick up my book. I know that for a fact. There's people, members of Comicsgate, that picked up Neon Trash. I'm not going, like, I disagree with the concept, the principles, the so-called de facto leaders, even though there's no definitive. It's Ethan and Richard. We know this. It's Richard first, Ethan, and then it's kind of just a kind of co-partnership or whatever. This idea. I'm not going to say, you motherfuckers don't pick my book up. I'm like, they have free will. I'm not going to stop somebody from, it's like same thing with Peter Samedi earlier today was getting shit because, oh, he's Comicsgate friendly.
He's constantly getting shit.
He's always getting shit for that because he's like, I'm not going to do purity tests for, I mean, I was like, yeah, no purity tests. And he's like, yeah, he agrees on that. And it's like, support what you love. Don't, buy what you love. Talk about what you love. There's so many people, yeah, Marvel's SJW bullshit, man. And it's like, okay, where's the comics you buy? What you like? You're trying to be a gatekeeper. I'm like, motherfucker, talk about comics. I thought you loved comics. They love the argument.
About comic books, yeah.
It's supposed to be about comic books, but it's the fucking argument. It's the, how dare you tell me what to do, you fucking communists. And it's so fucking retarded. It's like dealing with children. And it's like, you're a grown-ass man, and this is the way you act? It's like, you're reading comic books. Yeah, a form of entertainment. Fucking motherfuckers in the Philippines and shit, fighting off the Imperial Japanese Army and shit, reading comic books. Oh, well, that was a different time. Yeah, it was a different time because people get PTSD and were not diagnosed. So they come back home, drink, beat their wives, beat their kids. And everybody looks at these, like, oh, the boomers are the problem. Like, they were fucking beaten and brutalized by their parents, by their fathers, the mothers. So mothers were beaten by the husbands would beat the children, and the mothers would beat the children. And so, wow, you wonder why they're so fucked up and narcissistic. Everybody's like, oh, death to the boomers and boomers this. Oh, yeah. You understand why now? This shit rolls downhill. It always has, always will.
Man.
So it's this idea, off topic, but what I'm saying is, if I buy a comic from, let's say, Brian Hitch. Okay, I'm buying Hawkman. I'm buying Brian Hitch. I don't expect Brian Hitch to do anything. Dan Panosian was like, he put out a tweet. He did the book Slots, which is a really good crime book. But he put out a tweet. It was like, I'm glad Google and Apple and Facebook and this and that, like, they fought against hate and they defeated hate, getting rid of Alex Jones. Alex Jones is a goofball. Anybody that takes him seriously, I really think should be committed to look at Alex Jones. Like, it's like, he's being serious and said horrific things. Comedians, these are the same people that said he say horrific things and he should be stopped are the same people saying, well, James Gunn did nothing wrong. Like, you can't have it both ways. Like, okay, so James Gunn can joke about, trees blowing children and rape and this, that. But Alex Jones can talk about water turning the frogs gay, school shootings being false flags.
Sweet crazy Christmas.
Crazy. He can talk his crazy shit, but that's too far. But with these other, no, that's not. Oh, he's a comedian. So if you're a comedian, you get that freedom. But if you're, alternative news or whatever, you're the real villain.
I've never quite understand the whole comedians getting a free pass.
Yeah, and comedians. Look at these comedians are looked at as, even people like George Carlin, like the late George Carlin, Lenny Bruce. Like, he was on the first ones. Like, he was going up on stage and reading like his arrest records and shit like that. That's back in the 60s. This stuff really isn't funny to me. Carlin was more of like just he was a ranter more than a comedian as far as I was concerned. But then you'd have Bill what's his name? Bill. Oh, damn it, not Bill Duke.
Bill Hicks.
Bill Hicks, yeah. Who everybody says that Bill Hicks faked his death and became Alex Jones. That would be funny as fuck. It's like, it was me, Austin. It was me all along, son of a bitch. But with Bill Hicks and all this other stuff, these people a lot of them were drug addicts, alcoholics, adulterers, into some weird, fucked up shit sexually. They were mentally unwell. They were sexually abused as children. I'm not saying that makes them bad people, but these people are not, they were not the most stable people, because a lot of them, they turn to drugs and alcohol to battle their demons. Is that the best way? I have no fucking clue, but I'm just saying it's fucked up. They look at these people like, they're paragons of truth and justice, and like, no, they get them on stage and need adoration from the crowd. They need people to tell them they're good. It's fucked up. It's really fucked up to see this stuff happen. But yeah, it's like, but when it comes to these comic creators and all this and that, like, they owe me nothing. I figure if you don't like what they're saying, don't listen to it. It's that
close your eyes.
Yeah. Well, I gotta find that. I think I screen capped that a while back.
It's not
it was
real.
just yeah. It's the what was it called? I can't remember the name of it. Oh yeah. It's the bullying thing. Here it is. If I can find it real quick. But yeah. Let's see. The bull. Yeah, it's Tyler the Creator. Yeah, this is. Yeah. This is for bullying, but this also works. It works. Instead of just replace bullying for something you don't like, and just walk away from the screen, close your eyes.
It's not real, man.
It's just this idea of all the like. It's the funniest thing. Like, a lot of these people, like, oh, look at these, these snowflakes. They're doing this and that. I'm like, but you're the one that's saying, "How dare you say this?" There's so many people I've had to stop following. I mean, I had to and mute them because it's annoying to see it pop up. They're so.
A lot of it, I feel like, is just that people waging a fight on Twitter, and then it's only on Twitter.
Yeah, it's on Twitter, and nobody cares outside of it. You try to get somebody that doesn't go on Twitter on a regular basis, that goes on the comics Twitter or whatever, is a part of that little group to, like, hey, you hear about Comicsgate? What? They don't care. They really don't care. It's like, you can buy my book or not. You can buy these comics.
You gonna buy these comic books or not? Kid, what the fuck are you talking about?
Exactly. Just stand here and like have your spit all over my comics. Like, buy this book or not. Get the fuck out of my shop. And it's this idea of, like, there are certain members, I will admit, they've gone too far. I mean, they don't never bully nobody. Bullshit. There's always going to be extremes, and no matter how peaceful an idea,
people are never going to think the same. That's just all there is to it.
Exactly. And any organized group has
people
a potential
of going
south. And it has potential of going south, dude. I mean, you have people, like, somebody comes in with their own notions, or some fucked up person in the head shows up and they hijack it, or they at least taint it, with their movement, or their idea for the movement, or something along those lines. That's why I try not to belong to any group. Stay on the outskirts. Be the lone wolf. Much more fun. But I don't know where you stand with it, but.
I mean, I don't know. I feel like there are some issues I do agree with, and then I feel like some aspects of all this is just one big shit show.
Yeah, so that's a
fight for something I don't feel like maybe a lot of people can fully understand or grasp. They think it's one thing, and one side thinks it's something, and no one can get along.
Well, here's a question: How do we win the war on drugs?
I don't know, man. I feel like there's
how do you win the war on terror?
You figure out what the terror is. Figure out what the source. Find the source.
Well, America was a nation founded by terrorists, so we were terrorizing the Brits. This wasn't a revolution; it was a civil war. I mean, we kicked people that were born in this country out because they agreed with the crown. This idea of Comicsgate, it's a war for our hobby. It's a war for our, for our entertainment. Same thing with Hollywood. Where is the winning point? Where is the battle lines? Where, like when in World War II, or World War I for that example. I mean, any war you have, okay, you take this, you hold it, you capture this point, you move forward, you move the lines up, you win this battle, or you lose this battle.
This is not what's happening here. Yeah,
no, there's no war.
This is not what that is.
Exactly.
At any point, someone can turn around and turn off their monitor, and it's over.
Major Tom in the chat's all for for Amsterdam from The Wire and make drugs legal.
Drugs legal.
Yeah, drugs legal.
That is one way to do that, but I mean, there's repercussions in that, you know.
Yeah.
So I don't know. There's a thin line with all that shit.
Yeah, let people self-medicate. Yeah, that's going to work out great. Yeah, Amsterdam is known for being the pinnacle of world success, and it's known for as a shining beacon. Oh wait, no, it's not. You know, prostitution and drugs and like, hey, freedom is a great and terrible thing. Freedom to people do whatever they want. Usually they'll do the worst and the worst choices possible. If you're telling somebody, hey, you having a bad day, you want to shoot some heroin, go ahead, you do that. You be you. I shouldn't tell nobody what to do. At that point, like, that's why the whole, like, this, like, super libertarian mindset I can't get behind. It's like, you know, the state shouldn't tell citizens they can't shoot heroin. It's like, yes, you should.
I feel like that's a situation where it's like, I got to make this decision for you because you're stupid, and I don't want you to kill yourself. That's why that would be in place.
Yeah, it's like, hey, you want to smoke cannabis? You want to get high, smoke a little weed, and watch Netflix after work? Great. You get behind the wheel. That's equivalent of you get behind the wheel with a beer. And a couple beers in your body with a high blood alcohol level.
There's got to be rules to keep people from being stupid.
Exactly. Get delivery or have it be.
Can't be the Wild West.
Exactly.
This can't be the Wild West. We can't do that. People need to understand that we can't.
Dude, I'm tempted. I wouldn't mind the Wild West. Somebody pull a gun on me. Somebody pull a gun on me.
Shit's gonna get real.
Yeah, man. No way, man. You know it. But this, there is no battles to be won. They own the comics industry. They're at Marvel. They're at DC. You want things to change? You make your own comics. You do your own thing. You sell them direct market. You sell them to comic shops. You sell them to customers directly. You do, Jesus Christ, crowdfunding. But please, for the love of fuck, stop making the books $25 a piece for fucking 40 pages.
$35 soon. Here we come.
Well, it is $35 with $10 shipping.
You get a keychain, Larry. You get a free keychain.
You get a mini poster or stickers. I don't want fucking stickers. Give me a goddamn comic
I want a
book.
Sticker poster, yeah. I like that.
Poster. I want some shrinky dinks. Put them in the oven, right? Let them shrink. This is what comics have become. This isn't. I don't think this is comics. This is supporting people. This is like throwing money at people and then getting something in return, possibly, perhaps.
Well, I also think, man, that buy the comics that you do like, buy the comics you think do work. Send them a message. I mean, the numbers will be there.
The numbers don't lie.
The numbers don't have an agenda.
And okay, Major Tom 331. What if you just want to be a consumer? Then consume the comics you want to consume.
Nobody has to be a revolutionary. Don't believe,
exactly.
Don't believe that you've been enlisted in some war that doesn't exist.
Exactly. You want to read comics. You want to, and most people, like, if you tell them, "Hey, what would you rather have? Across the board, all books be roughly like $2 a piece, or we kick out, we scourge, we close everything down that's any hint of being leftists, and it's just whatever. It's like comics should be about $2 a piece. All comics should be roughly $2 a piece." Alternate could do them for $1.50. God bless them. It's fucking insane the fact they're doing 32-page full color comics for $1.50. Yes, granted, they are not paying really overhead because all that's going to the individual creators. This is like an Image deal, and why can't Image do that too? $4 for their bullshit books. Yeah,
those are creator-owned books, right?
That's what I'm saying. Alternate does the same thing. There's no. But the only thing Alterna owns is Alterna logo. That's it. And Peter owns his own books. When the Chair, for example. But Scrimshaw, Amazing Age, Croak, Tinseltown, Doppelganger. Damn it, I'm blanking on the rest of them at the moment. But these books are owned by the creators that put them out. Zero Jumper and a couple of other stuff. That book, Zero Jumper and everything involved, that's owned by that. It's just put out through Alterna. Alterna is like a clearinghouse. And, and $2 for the big two, because that's what I'm talking about. Like, $2 for the big two, as well as for Image. Cheap comics. These floppies should be cheap. They're not. This idea is like, oh, it's collectible. The collectible market's one of the biggest fucking problems of all the comics industry itself. This idea of it's put it behind like the grading, the CGC it. When I see CGC at convention, like Heroes Con especially, it makes me sick. It's like, you people.
I wanted to go get some of the stuff I got sign graded. I was kind of disappointed I didn't do that.
I
needed to feed the beast.
You feed the beast way too much for my liking.
The beast needs to be healthy, Larry. I need the beast to stay alive.
No, the beast is what's been consuming things. The beast is like the Gamork from Neverending Story. It's hiding in a cave. It's doing nothing except just eating and scaring.
I'm throwing a couple of things in there every once in a while.
We need to throw it in the swamps of sadness.
No. It's doing okay in there. It serves a purpose. I don't want it gone.
The beast needs to be gone. But I really dislike the aspect that comics just. There are people that push that narrative of, oh, it's expensive now, but it'll be cheaper in the future. How? Explain to me how that's going to work. If you can make it cheaper, sell it cheaper. This idea of getting more people in there, it's the same thing with these comics. If I could make what I do for cheap, I'm talking like the Peter Simeti, the printing partnership program or whatever, that he's doing the newsprint, like cheap comics, like each one got 50 cents a piece. You had to buy a minimum of like 500, which is $250. So like 32-page comic, full color, 50 cents to make. I'd do that in a heartbeat. So I could sell it at a lower price. I want to get my comics out there. I want people to be able to buy them. I want to be able, like, comic shops that they're interested in buying them, and I'd put it on a regular basis. I'd have like a 4-issue miniseries here, a 2 or 3 month break, another 4-issue miniseries. Well, why don't you just do an ongoing? Because I'd like to actually have a life and not be burned out doing an ongoing, like 12 issues a year.
You're going to be doing one every week.
So fuck that shit, man. 52 issues a year. Oh God, I actually thought about doing.
When it gets around Christmas, you're going to do more. You'll do 1 week. You'll do 2 in 1 week. That's going to be the big week. That's Christmas. If every holiday, we're going to get that.
If I had the speed, I would do that. I'm not talking the drugs, but maybe probably need the drugs too. But
no,
do that many
drugs,
comics. Drugs are bad, okay? But if I could do that, like let's say a 16, 20-page comic weekly. So that'd be what, 52, that'd be like 500 pages, give or take. 16 times 5, 52 or whatever. My math is bad, so I'm not going to even bother. But
I'm not going to bother either.
It's like 500 pages. It'd be like a 500-page book. And a lot of those print on demand, offset printing, all that stuff, they can do 500 pages. That's not a problem. But like a weekly adventure story, kind of like a Indiana Jones throwback, maybe sci-fi space adventure, something. And have that like every week a new issue. Physical new issue. And keep it like $1.50. So that, I mean, how awesome would that be? Have a book out every week. You can wait 3 weeks.
I feel like in this age that we live in, I feel like getting a book every week would probably work because more people are looking for something that's instantaneous, not something that's, oh man, I really like this, but now I got to wait, till the next month, to get it, or be told I got to wait 2 months, and
if you like
I get really disinterested.
Hell, Saga's going to be taking like a year and a half off because the people there's health issues or people burning out. That's what that
shit happens.
Saying.
I get it,
but like they're going to take like a year and a half off. People are going to forget about it. Honestly, I mean, you'll have people, you'll have people remember it, but that's I'm like, just wrap that shit up to like chapter 1 done. But this idea of like, if I could do that speed of putting out that content, and like 16 pages doesn't seem like much, but if you're putting out content every week, like, well, you could just do it instead of doing 16 pages a week, you could have it as 1 a month. Or how about this? $1 a comic print, comic in print. Because I asked Peter Simeti that on Twitter. So what if it was 16 pages of story? Because he'd be like 24 interior pages, 4 pages of ads, 16 pages of story. He'd charge like 99 cents for it, or $1. How cool would that be? Like, oh, instead of, you can wait to the end of the month and get 5 comics for $5, have a month's worth of comic stories. You know, that kind of thing would be incredibly. I think I'd love it. Oh, you didn't get your comics this week? Well, we got your 3 issues saved up for you. Like, that'd be cool. I mean, to actually have like, ooh, and each of them, I love. See, my thing is, I love doing comic covers. I love the visual look of a comic cover. Probably no GNs, graphic novels, all that shit. And these like one shots. You only get one cover. You can get a back cover, but I'm talking about one main cover, and there's something missing. Like, there's a art to comic. I was looking through some old Legion of Superheroes books, and there's one where Lex Luthor, just after he lost his hair because Superman messed up one of his experiments and he lost his hair. This when Lex Luthor was living in Smallville at the time, and he hits
what like a coincidence!
Yeah, very coincident. Like, I always thought that was stupid with the Smallville show.
You made me. You wanted this. You took my hair. You wanted me to be pissed off at you.
See, that's what's so ridiculous. I always thought the Smallville show was dumb because Lex Luthor lived in Smallville.
Hey, I liked Smallville as a show. It was good.
Hey, Michael Rosenbaum, the best thing about that.
Hey, he's a class act.
Dude's great. I saw an interview with him. He's like, I had no clue that she was a part of a sex cult.
I watched that, and that looked genuine. Yeah, that looked genuine.
Like, he's like, they're younger than me, and
I wasn't fucking with them. That's what I heard.
I didn't touch them. I didn't.
Me and Tom hung out. Tom's like 45, So yeah, I listened to that too. That was he definitely let us know that he wasn't hanging out with them.
He has the look of a Wally West.
He would make a good Wally.
He voiced Wally too, so that's what's great about it. It's like he's got that, and he's got that. You need somebody to be comedic but also serious at the same time, and he can do both. And
hey, why are we gonna wait much longer to get Nathan Fillion into a Green Lantern costume? Just do it.
Hal Jordan, give him the white streaks on each side of his hair. He's been in space.
Nathan Fillion, he's an aged man. I feel like Hal should be an older man.
Yeah, you need a Nathan Fillion. Then you need, what would you go, Kyle Rayner or Jon Stewart?
Jon Stewart, not fucking Kyle Rayner. You're crazy, dude. What kind of fucking question is that? No Kyle Rayner. You don't like Kyle Rayner? Maybe, we'll give him an ABC TV show where he's kind of connected, but not really. There you go. Oh, that's right.
Hater. You're a Kyle hater.
There you go. You figured me out.
Kyle hater.
I'm a Hal Jordan fan.
I used to love Hal Jordan, and I became more of a Kyle Rayner fan. But
Kyle Rayner's okay.
I like Hal Jordan, and like the fact that I
got the comic book with the fridge. You got all that. I've been here.
You've been here. I've been here since the beginning.
I've been here since the beginning on this one. Yeah.
I still say in my head, Parallax, it was not a fear parasite when Parallax, and like Hal Jordan.
That was Hal Jordan.
Hal Jordan killed the core, and he just said, fuck everything. Grief. Yeah, and it's like he's like, this is a guy, he was already a loose cannon. You have to be crazy to test planes, to test shit that could kill you. And
the switch was flipped when they told him no.
I saved all these alien worlds, I saved all this and that, and I did all this. And I did all this just so
won't let me save my family. Yeah,
exactly. He's like, "Fuck you," and it's like, boom, he goes on a rampage. I love it, and this idea, like, how cool would it be to see him redeem himself from that and not pull the, "Well, it wasn't me; it was a fear parasite that infested the Owen power back." Don't give me that bullshit.
Him becoming the Spectre and all that, I felt like that was an interesting aspect as far as that.
Yeah, I like that because that was nice to see. Like, you're gonna let that psycho become the right hand of God. It's great. It's like, we look back at the Old Testament, God was bloodthirsty to say the least.
Vengeance.
Vengeance. I'm the spirit of vengeance. Major Tom 331 monthly format is not made well for this day and age. Yes, it's not. Like every 2 weeks, like what the Amazing Spider-Man books are doing, that or the weekly format. I mean, that right there is probably the best. But yeah, take care, Major Tom. We'll see you around. But Major Tom's going home. 4,
see you later,
3, 2, 1. Earth below us, drifting slowly. I better stop singing. I'm a crack.
You put me to sleep, dude. You're serenading me to sleep.
Better than putting a gun in your mouth. Like, oh. Oh God! But I saw something on a timeline of Nerd Wonder, and I think I told you about this. I saw this tweet, and it kind of just maybe just shake my head. This right here. GateCon for 2019, a greatest con for all things nerdy. Where would such a con be held? Nowhere, because it'll end up just like Kilroy. It'd be Kilroy 2.0. A lot of people were joking saying Detroit in the... did I actually put it up? No, I didn't. There we go. Here we go. This is the thing. GateCon for 2019, greatest con, all things nerdy. Where would such a con be held? A lot of people are saying Detroit. I just hopefully mutated. Help me! Like Clarence Boddicker would show up. No.
That's not no.
That's not nice. I know, but I love it. Like Clarence Boddicker and his crew show up. The wrecking crew is here. What is that metallic?
Heard you kids were having a gate con.
Gate con. You just
heard you wanted a foot in the ass.
You just change it to gay con.
No,
it's so
foot
simple.
con. Foot con.
Foot con. Foot and asses for everyone.
I feel like I see where it's a good idea, a good-hearted idea to give people a chance to get together, but I feel like it also paints a target on a lot of people. You know, I feel like this will bring adversity. Yeah, there will be fights over this. You know, people will go so far as to take your job or whatever. You know.
Oh, there'll be threats. You know it. Like you can't do something. And also like, are there really the amount of people? That's a real interesting thing. It's like,
why segregate yourselves? Why not stick it to people and just go to the regular cons? Just go to the regular events. Keep being yourself. Don't feel like you can't go to this shit.
Hug box, man. Everybody needs a hug box. They need to be with their own bubble. They need to be told everything's good, everything's okay. You know, it doesn't matter.
I don't feel like I need a con just for, you know, my belief set. You know, I want to go to the big con. I want to go there.
We need a Larry King con.
Larry King con. Come get it. Good punch in the face.
Come get it. You'll get abused verbally.
We'll give you some fucking comic books. Here you go, kid.
Here you go, kid. Here's a boot to the ass from Red Foreman. Oh, shit. But it's just, I really don't know if there's actually enough people to justify it. It's like,
I feel like it's just too dangerous. It's paying the target.
Not to mention like the signal to noise ratio. It's like all these people. I think the difference between this stuff and Tumblr, and I think Tumblr is all words. That's it. And it's like I think somebody said before me, but this idea, it's easy to be a fan. It's harder to be a customer. You know, to actually be paying for product. You can go and read pirated books like people do. Well, ain't nothing wrong with piracy and all that bullshit. But they'll pull that, you know, they're just say you're, you know, stealing. Say you're stealing this book that you're not, you know, like you're actually, you know, I'm a comic fan. Like, yeah, you'd be a fan, but you can also steal books and, you know, like whatever. But this idea of people that have they're so loud, multiple counts. I don't know, man. That's like, you know, but you're right. The potential for violence is there. The people being antagonizing towards it.
It's just going to be more fighting. That's what when I look into my crystal ball and I see things like that, I see it's a good-hearted idea from people who don't want to fight, but there's going to be people who do want to fight. Oh, God. And that's what it will be. It will be even if it wasn't the siren whistle for it, man.
Even if it wasn't nothing like physical, like somebody just call up the convention centers and this and that. You know,
we've seen this happen before, yeah.
You got Nazis, you know, coming in. You're okay with Nazis? We're gonna find out your home address, and like people do that.
That's when the thugs with the masks and the bear spray and shit like that come.
Yeah, the
whatever the fuck it was I saw on the news the other day that was happening in Portland. I don't even want to talk about that. That's fucking retarded.
Anybody that goes.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to use the R word.
No, it is retarded. No, it's retarded to see people, like grown ass people. I'll leave it this way. People get frustrated. Hey, life is frustrating. The world is a very unfair, cruel place. But going to protests, I'm going to hold a prayer rally. the fuck do you need a prayer rally for? Is if either Jesus or God, whatever your deity that you worship, is in your fucking heart or he isn't. He isn't in a building. He isn't in a fucking park. You're just doing that to antagonize people because you're that much of a
They know there's going to be
exactly.
adversity. There's going to be a confrontation.
They want confrontation. Just admit it. Don't be like, well, pirating because the book's too damn high. No, you just want to steal. Well, I'm out here fighting for my rights. What rights? You just want to get into a fucking fight.
Two wrongs don't make a right. And two wrongs definitely won't fix it.
That. I always hated the two wrongs don't make a right bullshit. It's like, yes, two wrongs do make a right at times. Two wrongs do. Hey, not getting involved in World War II and then nuking the shit out of Japan. They're two wrongs.
Oh, man. Oh, man.
hey, Hiroshima, Nagasaki. Two wrongs do make it right. Fuck. But
you went there.
I did go there. But this idea that people going to these protesters, like all the people that went to Charlottesville, all that stuff. It's like, why? Why do you go there? Well, because they want to, Larry. It's like, well, why did you get like this with your nose pierced? Because I wanted to. It's like, if you can't really explain, like, I know why I do certain things. Larry, why'd you buy that book? It had an interesting cover. The interior artwork looked pretty good. Turns out the story was a little mediocre for my liking. It kind of saved itself by the end, but I know why I bought that. Why'd you buy this? Larry, why'd you buy your 12-gauge pump action 12, shotgun, this and that? Because I like to go target shooting in 12-gauge rounds, especially birdshots, very cheap, and I can easily shoot clay pigeons down with it. The discs. Oh, why'd you do this? I can explain usually why I buy things. Hey, I bought that game Recore because it looked pretty good. It looked really fun. Hey, it was only $40 and it was $40 wasted. I understand. Like, I can explain why I do certain things. If you can't explain why you did this, why you did that, I don't know. Like a child, you shouldn't have the abilities and the freedoms to do that. So you should have that shit taken away from you. It's like, explain to me why you did that.
Explain to me why.
Exactly. It's like, well, why'd you hit that person upside the head? Because I'm interior, inside, and my insides, internally, I'm aggressive because of the abuse I sustained as a child. No one to enact it on the people around me, and that person had echoes of this aggressiveness that I faced as a child. Whatever bullshit like that. There's a reason for it. You might not want to admit it. I'm like, oh, why do people go to protests? Oh, because they're bored, they're lonesome, they feel like they don't belong, they need to belong to something bigger and stronger than themselves because they're that weak mentally. So yeah, that's how I look at people to go to protests. they're milk suckers. They're not strong, they're not brave. They're like, I want to belong to something bigger than me.
Oh boy.
Yeah. So yeah, talking shit about protesters, both sides. It doesn't matter. People want to belong to something. Me, I just doing my own thing. Leave me be. Don't interfere with my shit. Be the lone wolf. Lone wolves are fun. Everybody blames lone wolves for horrible, horrible things. Well, like masses do just as bad, if not worse. We need to help these poor people out. Fuck the poor people over in this foreign country that we have nothing to do with. Leave them be. But yeah, so you got anything like to add to comment? We've been talking for like an hour and a half, so
we've been going, dude.
You have any news? You have any things of content, topics you want to bring up? Stuff that's gotten your goat?
That I think Kraven the Hunter is coming back in Amazing Spider-Man. I had to say.
Well, he was on the cover. He was on the cover of the first issue, so he had that really lame knife. I'm like, that's not a knife. This is a knife.
There was something in this issue, I guess the new issue, that kind of leads me to believe. I mean, unless I'm getting my knives mixed up, it kind of felt like to me it was a Kraven type thing. We'll see though.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to reading that in a trade paperback form because I
think you'll like it. It's a fun story.
No, I think I will. I really think I will. But $4 a piece, though. I mean, it's like what? It's like that, dude. That's four issues. That's steep. I know. Like I know you're, but you're only getting like 2 or 3 books a week. I'm picking up old trades and stuff like that. So I mean, I'm like, I could buy that Hawkman book. Only cost me $3.99, same price as the Spider-Man. So, You see where I'm coming from? I can get
No, yeah, I definitely understand what you're saying from price point. Definitely, I'm buying 6 or 7 books every week.
yeah. It's just way too expensive, No, it's just that's one of those problems. Like the price for these books, everybody wants to harp on the politics. It's the fucking price. If all the books were like $2 a piece, $1.99, where you could pick up books and give them a shot, I'm like, yeah, this book ain't so bad. But it's like everything's so hyper focused because it makes it hyper focused because of the price. It's like I'm paying $5 for propaganda. You're paying $2 for a mediocre book. What would become $2 would be? I honestly think $2 mediocre book. But if you pay $4 or $5 for that, what would be a mediocre book would be too damn just it's politically charged. You're looking for a reason to everything gets hyper, like hyper charged. It's like magnifying glass is like shown on it. So I really don't understand why these books cost as much as they do.
But I don't, maybe because everything else is super expensive.
Yeah,
I know that's not a good excuse.
Yeah, it's like kind of like Marvel, DC. Their prices would be roughly like 75 cents, $1, while indie books would be like $2, $2.50 a piece, roughly. It's like usually about 1.5 times more expensive, almost twice as expensive at times. But you have more overhead. They don't have the system that Marvel and DC does. But now all the books are the same. Like Image Book, Dark Horse, Marvel, DC, $4 a piece. I'm gonna give the customer a break. Alterna's the only one doing something about the prices, and everybody's like, all I hear is Alterna the prices. Because it's such a shocking thing a company can survive, especially a small company. A one-man, it's Peter Simeti running everything himself. One dude. And the price is the most shocking thing. The price was lower on these books. More people could buy comics. More people would be into comics. If comics came out on a regular basis, there was consistency. There isn't, and that's a problem. But what can you do? I mean, you can't put a gun to these corporations' heads and make them lower the price. Like if DC did it, I think Marvel would follow suit because Marvel would look like a bunch of asses. Look at these assholes charging $4 or $5 for a comic where DC's only charging $1.99.
I feel like if at some point they got it, maybe they're going to have to address that. And I feel like one way of doing that is to release some books that are lower priced and see how they work out.
Honestly, I think they should do what I would call like a core line, like simplified. Kind of like, did you ever a while back, it's probably 2 or 3 years now. Wow, it's been a while. There were these series of comics, or 6 limited comics in cereal boxes, and they were Justice League books. And
it sounds familiar to me, but I'm drawing a blank.
Well, I'm just gonna find what they look like. But they were Justice League cereal comics. But this is during the New 52. This is, but the comics, all the art, all the characters look like, when you think like classic DC characters, they looked like that. They didn't have the New 52 look. They look like how they're supposed to look. They looked,
the standard issue look. That's what you're telling me, right?
Yeah, exactly. That is what they're supposed to look like. They're not supposed to be, this over-designed mess. It's like,
you don't want a bunch of lines and contours and all that stuff? Is that what you're telling me?
Oh God, I hate that stuff.
You don't like everything to be Jim Lee'd up, is what you're saying?
No, I don't like this over-designed mess. I do not like that, and that's what that Jim Lee stuff is.
How did you feel about Batman's most recent new costume?
Which one? The one with the outline around the what do you mean? Most recent?
Yeah.
If there's the only one I can think of is that's the one with the yellow outline around the bat symbol.
Yeah, that's the one I'm talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, I hate that. That looks like some cheap knockoff stuff.
You don't even like the purple cape and all that?
Fuck no. This is the comics I was talking about. Here we go. League, this Unstoppable Force is like one of 4.
That's pretty. Yeah, that's all. That's standard looks right there.
Exactly. That's how they're supposed to look.
Hey, look, there's Hal Jordan in the background. He's a stand-up guy.
He's got the onesie, man. He's got the onesie thing going on. Like, well, kind of, sort of. It's not full on. Like,
it's close enough.
Close enough. Aquaman looks like Aquaman. Batman looks like Batman. Flash. I'm pretty sure that's Barry.
They're even hiding his hands so you could, you can either think the claw's there or not.
Which claw?
Oh, he does have the claw?
No, for Aquaman?
Yeah.
No, because that's his right arm. See? He's got the glove.
Oh, and that's Barry, not Wally. I see.
Yeah, it's Barry because the lightning belt.
There you go. I can tell, yeah.
Yeah, and then, but like Superman looks like Superman. Wonder Woman looks like Wonder Woman. Everybody looks perfect. And then there's this one, and it's the same kind of deal. Aquaman. Like, this is what the Justice League should look like. And guess who did the artwork? Dan Jurgens.
I was just about to say, I could see that gold coming off of this. It looks great.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, this is the kind of books. Actually, I'll have like issues 1 and 4. I don't have each story was like self-contained. But these are the covers and everything. Like, they're like straightforward. Like, kind of the covers don't really tell you what's going on in the interior. I think one of them, Unstoppable Forces. This one, I'm pretty sure this is the one with Shaggy Man.
Pretty standard Justice League type stories.
Yeah, fun comics. Really fun books. I mean, there's a let's see, Sinister. There's one of them. I forgot which one. There's one where they go to Mars and they battle Ares because Mars got a war, for Rome, all that stuff. So it's like pretty fun comics, dude. Like, there's I think it's one of these, Escape from Monster. Yeah, this is the one where they started introducing, like, they had Cyborg on the team, which I wasn't too keen.
Cyborg's a good member of the team.
I'm not a fan of that, dude. I'm not a fan of Cyborg on the team.
You feel like he should be a Teen Titan?
You know what? Or, like, if Cyborg could be a member of the team, if it's like Mon-El is Superman, Donna Troy is Wonder Woman, like, who would be Green Lantern? Like,
no, Mon-El. We want Connor Kent, dude.
Or Kara. I'd go with Kara as this in the Superman role.
Okay,
like,
I'll meet you halfway on that one.
Like, I you know what? Because
Kara,
pure blood Kryptonian, and and also Supergirl, Cyborg, Donna Troy, Dick Grayson as Batman, Wally as Flash. Like, there you go. Like, get that kind of deal. Like, maybe have Aqualad, maybe not. I'm not 100%. But go generational heroes. Yeah. Oh, this is the one. This is the crazy one that has the Ares got a war, the Lost on Mars one. I mean, I think that's Phil Jimenez doing the artwork on that. But these are actually really fun. Like, I think it's Phil Jimenez. Can't really tell. Looks like his artwork, but yeah. Yeah, this is like when they did 8 issues. But yeah, this is the kind of stuff. When I think Justice League, that's what I think of. Even though it's supposed to be a trident, and that's more than 3. But whatever. That's always been.
That's just a fancy one, man. Don't get mad.
Don't tell me what to do. But yeah, like, I love these comics. I love they're really fun. I mean, they're better comics for being in free in cereal boxes. I didn't really eat those cereal for that. I'm
Larry opened kind of person. Threw away the cereal, kept the book.
No, I ate the cereal. But I'll eat oatmeal, I'll eat grits, or I'll just do like bacon and toast or sausage and toast, that kind of thing. But I'm not a really cereal person all the time. Depends on what time of the year.
I can eat cereal at any time of the day. I actually prefer to have more than one different kind of cereal. No joke.
Like, what kinds?
Just any kind.
What kind of cereal? What kind of cereal does Matt Land eat?
I will tell you, my favorite cereal, above all cereals that I can just eat endlessly, is Cocoa Pebbles.
Really?
No bullshit.
I can't eat that stuff anymore.
I love that
stuff anymore.
I always tell myself I want to get a different cereal, but I'm always grabbing that box. I can't be stopped.
Yeah, for me, I used to get like Raisin Bran and stuff like that.
I like Raisin Bran, yeah.
But here's the problem. I looked on I was looking one day, and between like Raisin Bran, the name brand, and like the knockoff, it's like it can't be much different. I'm like, dear God, there's a lot of sugars in this. There's a lot of sugars, a lot of calories.
Don't worry about all that stuff.
Then I look
buy the
over
Raisin Bran.
at a weird curiosity. I look over at the Reese's cereal, the Reese's Puffs. Dude,
That's not bad either. I'll
that's
eat
got
that.
less sugars, less calories, and more vitamins and nutrients than Raisin Bran. Next, I shit you not.
Just
Look
buy
at
the
that stuff.
Raisin Bran, man. Don't
Nope.
worry
Sorry,
about
dude.
all that stuff.
Nope.
Buy 2 boxes. Buy the family size box.
I might buy some bran flakes and buy some raisins separately, but they coat them raisins and sugars. Oh, screw that, man.
You're doing it wrong. You gotta. The monster needs money. You gotta feed it. Buy the Raisin Bran.
Matt the consumer.
Matt the consumer.
Consumer advocate.
Everyone's trying to kill it off. I'm trying to keep it alive.
You're trying to keep the evil alive. It's like keeping a little monster. It's like, oh, it's not going to hurt nobody. Okay, yeah, it bit the kid's leg off, but it didn't. You instead of having, you already have Spike. You have Mohawk. You have all the gremlins. You don't even have Gizmo is long gone. It's like, yeah, granted, yes, I know it eats people, but you got to feed the beast, man. You can't be cruel to it.
You can't be cruel to it. Just give it a chance.
Oh my god! But yeah, I really think we should go back to these kind of like comics, these like straightforward stuff. This is the kind of Justice League I would love to see.
Well, that kind of stuff is got more of a global appeal,
and it's timeless too, and that's the biggest thing.
Because it's in a box of cereal. Because anyone can buy a box of cereal.
Yeah, they were in. Oh, now I know why I was able to get them. They were in Reese's Puffs, Cookie Crisp, Trix, Honey Nut Cheerios, Lucky Charms, Cinnamon Toast Crunch. I remember because I got mine in Reese's boxes, but oh man, yeah, there's like that stuff like that, yeah, because like I like the Reese's Puff cereal. Also, that stuff's really good to eat dry. Reese's Puff cereal.
I'll often do that myself. I would go eat straight out of the box for a little snack.
I've been tempted to get some and like not crush them up all the way to a dust, but then like crush some of them up to a point, and then mix them with some like butter and make like almost like what they do. You take either crushed pecans, you do graham cracker, and you do like a crust.
So what are you gonna what are you gonna be crusting?
Okay, have a crust and then mix vanilla and peanut butter. Like melt some peanut butter in the microwave, melt that peanut butter in the microwave, mix it with the vanilla pudding, mix it together, or use powdered peanut butter and mix that in. Put that down. Then
Is powdered peanut butter a thing?
Yeah, you can get powdered peanut butter. It's like you got to add water to it. It's like you add it to you add milk.
I didn't realize we had Gordon Ramsay here.
Well, take that and then take some cream cheese. Put the cream cheese on top of this peanut butter vanilla mixture, and then on top of that, put another layer of chocolate pudding, and then put like whipped cream, like either your Cool Whip or actual cream. And
sounds like a heart attack pie, dude.
Dude, not really. You can do it like sugar free. You can do sugar free.
Not really.
Like, if you're gonna die, you're gonna die eating good food.
Do a layer of sugar free sweeteners. It'll be okay.
Sugar free food, trick your liver.
My understanding is that stuff's not much better for you.
No, it's probably worse. It's probably worse than the sugar. But yeah, how do we go from food, comics, gate comics, Hawkman, whatever? Dude, Jesus, we're all over the place here. But I did you ever watch Legion, the FX show?
No, I've never watched that. I don't know if I ever will.
Okay, I'm a fan of.
I'm not saying it's bad,
dude. I'm a fan of weird shit, and if you're not a fan of weird shit, you'd probably hate it. Like if you like weird shit, like
Johnny Normal over here.
See, I'm a fan of David Lynch. I like Stanley Kubrick, Wes Anderson, Paul Thomas Anderson. This show, like I finished season 2, like it was like kind of a reward. I finished the project, and I was like, okay, after that, I'm gonna start watching Legion, season 2. And season 1 ends on not really a cliffhanger, but it's like, what the fuck? But you got to think, this is also a world where it's it's X-Men like without Jesus. The only thing they really reference, other than the X logo, like that's for the show itself. And David Haller, they mention Shadow King. Shadow King plays a major part. Amal Farouk, and they never say Xavier by name. Call him the Professor. Like David's like my dad. They never say Charles Xavier. They never say Charles Xavier's name, which is like I was like, a little disappointed. Season 2, they name drop the Shi'ar. There is some weird stuff going on. There's like government programs, all this and that. It gets really freaking weird. But there is some stuff in it. It's like they do X-Men content better than anything has ever. Like as much as I love the animated series, I think that's different. I mean, it's different. Yeah, it's way different. But this content, okay, they haven't been okay. No one's done the X-Men content justice since the animated series, and that's what Legion has done. And you have a character that's they're two separate entities, but they share the same body. There was a girl born on a Native American reservation, and she switched places with her other self, which is a Caucasian boy. So it's a girl, native girl who switches with a Caucasian boy. She's I believe she's Sioux, like this is part of the Sioux tribe. And then so the father thinks like the wife had cheated on him, so he leaves, and so the boy is raised by this woman. It's like I swore it was a boy. I swore it was a girl, not a boy, kind of thing. And it's like the character is basically a combination of Mirage, basically Danny Moonstar and Forge, except if Forge is a white dude and you still have like Danny Moonstar being Danny Moonstar, except she's basically just like combat. She kicks ass. Well, he invents shit. Then you have like a rogue like character, being David Haller, of course. You have a guy who like remembers everything. And can make people he can remember it goes into people's minds and like pick through their memories, like kind of like a file folder kind of deal. Really good stuff. Really weird. And you got the Shadow King, and it's just such a weird show, but it's so satisfying, so good. Great use of music and tone, and there are parts of that season 2 that looks like out of David Fincher's movie Seven, and I think that might have been intentional, but there was some really the tension.
Saying the show is more of a cerebral experience.
It's not just cerebral; it's a lot of visuals. It's the best looking show I think I've ever seen. It's an FX show, which I'm thinking, they're gonna, it's gonna look like shit. Their budget's gonna go down. And there are times where it's like this. There are films that don't look as good as this show. I mean, there's so much shocking stuff as far as the content goes, as far as like the way they just visually handle things, and it looks like it's hard to describe, dude. It's really hard to describe without like watching it. And they, at first I was a little like, they don't go full tilt with the Eraserhead hair. His giant, with his hair being like stacked up really, really high at the beginning of it. But there are times where I'm just there's androids in the show that have they look like they're chicks, but they look like Sonny Bono with a mustache, and they speak like through a vocoder, like how are you doing? Like T-Pain, like the mic I am T-Pain. It is bizarre, dude. It's really bizarre. Like their take on like the Shadow King has multiple faces. He wears people's faces like masks, and it is just. Here's let's see.
Let's see it.
Let's hear some just like examples. Some of the like kind of the visual stylings of the show. Let's see, share screen. Like with David's reality manipulating powers, being like he explode things like Akira style, kind of doing that kind of deal.
Yeah.
And the first episode, it has a Bollywood dance number in the first episode because it is the guy's about Legion's crazy. David Haller's crazy, so we know this going into it. And so like what's real, what isn't, kind of thing. And so like there's like a this is the chick who can't be touched because she touches someone, she basically jumps in there. She basically hijacks their body, and when like time's up, she'll appear where that body is, and that person's body will appear where she was. And there's a plot point in early in season 1 where she jumps into David Haller's body and can't control his powers and kills a bunch of people because like she can't control his psychic, telekinetic reality warping abilities, and explodes people into walls and like fuses them into like solid objects. I mean, the visual styling of the show. I mean, it looks like a Wes Anderson film, David Lynch, even like a bit of, like I said, Stanley Kubrick. It has this interesting visual styling, and see a flash forward to like a room filled with like skeletons and bones. And he's got the little bit of the thing going on with the hair kind of hair up to heaven kind of thing. So yeah, I love it, dude. I can't say I don't. I love the show, and I'm looking forward to season 3. And as season 2 ends, I'm like, damn it, I want more.
Maybe I'll give it a chance, Larry.
Maybe
You've kind of talked me into it a little bit. I don't know. I guess I'm leery of X-Men TV shows.
Don't trust. It's like there's a guy in here. He's introduced in the first episode of season 1. I think it's first episode. Yeah, first episode. And he is like this. He's equivalent of you remember Val Cooper from X Factor? You remember Val Cooper? She was the government liaison for X Factor. She was like the person
telling
X Factor where to go.
Yeah, she was the blonde, right?
Yeah, the blonde. Well, there's like male equivalent to her in the show, and David Haller like burns off half his face and everything, and you think, oh wow, you'll never see that character again. And then later on in the series, he actually shows up, like he's like with a limp and a cane and everything. Like in the series is really good. Where in a comic, you're 15. You really pretty much most comics you read within 15 minutes. A 32-page comic, 22 pages of story. You read in usually like 15 minutes, depending on how packed the story is of content. Like under 15 minutes. Well, each episode almost feels like an issue of a comic, or maybe even a couple of not a couple pages more than that, but they actually give the character like we find out what happens after like he's recovered. They find out he's still alive. They rehabilitate him. And you find out, oh yeah, he's a gay man because his husband's there, and they got their kids that they adopted. And you find out he's going through all this like rehab, and to get back, instead of like wanting to kill David Haller, he just wants to stop him. It's like he doesn't have like vengeance and hate in his heart and this and that. And it's like a really interesting character, and he actually has a bigger role in season 2. And so it's like half his face is burned off because of David Haller. So yeah, it's a fascinating show as far as all that stuff goes, and to see more, it's visually character, like there's some stuff in there like, was he crazy, was he made crazy, would they just make it worse? And like the X-Men shows, like there was that one on Fox or whatever,
the Gifted or whatever. Have you watched that? Is that pretty good?
Fuck no, man. I tried watching an episode of that. I had to stop. I didn't get halfway into it. It's just, dude, I didn't like it. I didn't like it at all. Like it
just wasn't agreeing with you, or what?
No, not at all, man. Not at all. Like there are some issues I had with the way it was paced, and like I understand that there is a, it feels like it's marketed towards like a young adult audience, like that kind of thing. Like it's going for like the 12 and 13-year-old girls more than anything else. I mean, I don't know. It's like, it feels like X-Men for the Twilight generation. That's how it feels to me. But it's just like,
it's not for you.
No, it's not. And that's unfortunate because I'm like, it doesn't, I mean, yeah, granted, not everything has to be for me. But like there's let's see. Here's some more some of the visual stylings, like from the little Bollywood style dance number from it's so bizarre to see this kind of stuff go on, but it's a bizarre show. And then this is basically Danny Moonstar equivalent character. She's like kung fu, martial arts, all that kind of stuff. But this is season 2. Like I'm talking about, like Sonny Bono android people. Female
Buckethead.
He's Admiral Fujiyama, and I'm like, what the hell? I don't recognize the name. And I'm like, is he supposed to be like a Silver Samurai kind of thing? And it's hard to describe it without like, okay, here's the spoilers for season 2. Like you even watch season 1. He apparently is a mutant that has a healing factor, because in X-Men universe, healing factor is nothing. It ain't like it's rare. Because Sabretooth had one, Wolverine had one. Of course, Laura X-23, Wild Child had a healing. The healing factor is somewhat common. Depends on what level, right? So this guy, he's like, his test scores, like he's in college. He's like 17 years old. He's like a kind of smart guy. Approached by the government, says, okay, we got psychics. We got these people that want to read people's minds, tell people what to do. We need someone that can like basically be a defense against them. And he's like this. He's a young like 17-year-old Japanese kid. Clearly an immigrant, or at least like I never mentioned his first name. I don't think they mentioned his first name, but he's
just a mystery character.
Well, not mystery. He's like he's a 17-year-old kid in college, and he's approached by the government, and he's like, well, you've never been sick a day in your life. You heal faster than other people. He's like, you said you do anything to help your country. So they cut open his head and basically make him a cyborg, and plant pieces in his head. And he's got like the halo thing around his neck, and he wears because like the helmet the bucket kind of acts like almost like a TV screen as well, like being able to plug into.
There's shit going on in there, is what you're telling me.
Yeah, like these androids, these Sonny Bono chicks in the background. So he can see through their eyes. He connects, through the computer in his head to the the building, like all the surveillance and stuff for the building. And it's like this weird, visually interesting character. It's like it's like kind of like that kind of like the samurai stuff. He's got the samurai shit would have those kind of guys with the bucket heads and everything,
Yeah.
But like something out of Ninja Scroll. That's what it reminded me of. So it's like really good shit. It's like really weird, bizarre, but it works. And I'm just in love with the show. I'm really in love with the show.
I can see that, man. I can hear it. I can feel it.
Oh, it's full of more. Like there's shit that goes on. Like their take on the Shadow King is so fucking good. It's like Shadow King and this Aubrey Plaza, who she was in Community. I don't know if you watched that show.
Oh, I know who she is.
Okay, yeah.
She was in Parks and Recreation, you mean?
Oh, yeah, Parks and Recreation, not Community. Yeah, that's right. I get confused. Oh, no, I was thinking of... why was I thinking of Community? Okay, I'm just getting confused. Oh, because the blonde chick from Legion reminds me of the blonde chick from Community. Not the same one, but it's like similar. Kind of have that visual look to them. But Aubrey Plaza basically is a face that the Shadow King wears throughout season 1. And there is a clip where there's a segment of one of the episodes where Shadow King's got the upper hand and they reveal that David Haller tried to commit suicide, and there's other stuff like being a drug addict, because all the voices in his head, being a psychic and not knowing what you are, the voices would drive you insane. So are the voices from other people, or is he just insane? Well, from other people, he's reading their minds and everything. And there's a segment where the Lenny, the Aubrey Plaza character, the mask that Shadow King wears, is dancing to a Nina Simone number. It's like a mini music video within the episode, and it's visually stunning, but it's twisted and interesting. Like visually, I wish because streaming you can't get the video to stream properly, it'd be like all choppy, and you couldn't hear the audio to begin with. But I guess I'll attach it via when this goes up and everything. I'll put on Twitter. I'll put it in there. It's like,
this
exactly because it's on YouTube. But there's elements separately. Like there's a part in season 2 where he's off in his own world, kind of like a what if scenario. He's talking like, choices you have, like this branches and that branches and this branches, and it's like branch. And there's a part where he's like working for the IRS and he sniffs some paper like whiteout, and he's like he's like bored job and everything, and he sees a mouse show up, and the song "Slave to Love" by Brian Ferry starts playing. It was the end song that was in the first Kingsman movie. The music that was playing end of the first Kingsman movie, and the mouse shows up and stands up on its hind legs and starts singing the song. It's bizarre. But in context of the show, it was like, oh, this is just weird for weirdness. Like, it isn't. It makes sense the context of the show. It's like one of those things. If you're not paying attention, it's like, oh, weird, interesting. But if you are paying attention, it's like, oh, I see what you're doing. So yeah, it's one of those kind of deals. So like it works on 2 levels. If you like just weird shit for weird shit's sake, there you go. If you like some stuff that the weird shit that has deeper meaning, there you go. So works both ways. But wow, dude, we've been almost 2 hours, and I know you got things you got to do.
What am I doing? No.
I don't know. It's like you push back you've made way in your schedule to join me.
I didn't mind. I feel like we can do this later. It works for me. If it works for everyone else.
Well, it works for me. That's all that matters. Like I said, it's nice to have people show up, and a lot of people, they'll switch over to their TVs if they're at home, fire up the Xbox, go through the YouTube app, go ahead and do that. That's great. So I can't really comment when I'm doing that, so just sit back and enjoy. Listen to the dulcet tones of Larry King. Oh, yeah. Hey, ladies. Oh, yeah.
You go.
Now they just turned off. But this, it's fun to talk about this stuff, to have a different perspective, and just, dude, love the comics we love. I mean, Hawkman's great. You're loving Spider-Man. I'd love it too. But
I got books I'm excited about right now.
Dude, I can't pay that money for it, man. I can't justify $4 or $5 a pop. It's like, what, $4 a pop right now? Still $3.99.
We're gonna have to give Larry a couple extra dollars fund.
For every dollar, I will remember.
It's gonna be the new super chat. You're gonna flip that switch.
No, I am not. I don't accept that shit.
Switch.
People, I will take money for goods and services. I sell you something, pay me. I make something, pay me.
You're selling them a question or a hey, I'm Larry. How are you doing? You know, one of those.
Nope.
There you go, man. No,
I got standards, man. I got standards.
And those couple dollars will go towards you buying these bigger books.
One bigger book, and that'd be.
But then every week, you'll have to come back and tell us about it. So now we get to tell you what to do.
Nope. This ain't gonna work.
Then eventually you'll be working on that book for every week. We'll be getting a book from you.
That sounds like a nightmare, man. That sounds like a slave to the machine. I don't like that. I don't like that one bit.
$2, Larry. It'll be good. Don't worry.
Nope. Big old nope on that.
Flip the super chat switch.
Nope. I don't have 1,000 subscribers and like 1,000 hours or some bullshit like that. Whatever. But with that, I'm gonna go ahead and, unless you got something else you want to contribute, Matt.
I don't have anything. I'm sorry, Internet.
I'm sorry.
I've let you down. I'll have more.
Let us all down.
I'll have more next week. I'll figure out something.
You have been a major disappointment, Matt. I am so sorry to have you
turn Hawkman into a movie. There you go.
You know what? I had this idea. Macho Man Randy Savage is Hawkman.
He can't physically do it, Larry.
I know, but in my heart of hearts, Hawkman,
I could see Hawkman sitting on that mountain like Macho Man sitting on the dock watching the sunset, pondering the many paths of the Macho Man.
Oh my God, the
Macho Man's through the eras of time.
He's Shadow Thief.
Macho Man on Krypton.
I've been to the danger zone on Thanagar.
Street level justice.
Sin for the Hawkman.
He's got Hulk Hogan in handcuffs. Yeah.
Hulk Hogan in handcuffs.
Hogan's the pusher. He's the Shadow Thief.
Hey, brother. Oh, God. And with that, bid you adieu. Thank you once again, everybody, for joining me. Matt, thank you for making time for this nonsense.
Thanks for having me, man.
Until next week, this is New Convict Day Aftermath, and the Rebel is now settling.
Boom.